Okay, today we are going to be adding and subtracting radicals. Remember what we learned in the previous lesson of simplifying radicals, because that's going to be very important for this lesson. Go ahead and get out your foldable. You should have it open to the yellow tab. Should be the second one to it. And on the top part of it, the yellow part, we're going to go ahead and write and put a little star note here that says simplify all radicals first. Then combine like radicals. And I would underline like radicals. Now, when we add and subtract, you can only add and subtract numbers that have a like radical next to it. So we're going to do 7 examples with this. So what I would recommend is probably doing about 3 of them on this top yellow fold, and then we can do the other 4 on the bottom green tab. So we'll go here, we'll go example 1, and we have the problem of 1 radical 2 plus 3 radical 2. Now, like we said first, we have to simplify all of our radicals, and radical 2 can't be simplified anymore. Radical 2 can't be simplified anymore. So then we are going to combine our like radicals. So 1 plus 3 is 4, and we don't do anything with the radical 2, so my answer then is 1 radical 2. Okay, let's do another example. We have negative 3 radical 5 minus 4 radical 5. Again, our radicals are like, they are already simplified, they are the same, so we can take negative 3 minus 4 to give a negative 7 radical 5, and that's our answer there. Pretty simple. Okay, example number 3, we're going to go 7 radical 3 minus radical 12. Now, in the first 2 examples, you notice we already had our like radicals. This one we don't have a like radical, so we have to look, can we simplify? And yes, we can simplify negative 12 to a radical 4 times radical 3. We can simplify radical 4 to 2, and 2 times a negative 1 is a negative 2. So we're left with negative 2 radical 3 and 7 radical 3 from up above here that we're going to just bring straight down. So now we're going to go 7 radical 3 minus 2 radical 3, and we get 5 radical 3. Again, if we need to pause the video to get any of this copied down, or if we want to discuss it, you may do so. I would go down to the bottom to the green page now for the next 4 examples. Again, if you have more room up on the top, that's fine. So example number 4, let's go 3 radical 20 plus 2 radical 5. They are not like radicals, but we have to simplify this first. This simplifies to radical 4 times radical 5. Radical 4 simplifies to 2, so 3 times 2 is 6. We're left over with radical 5 plus 2 radical 5. 6 plus 2 is 8 radical 5 for our answer. Okay, at any point if we need to pause to discuss these or get them copied down, we may do so. We'll go through example number 5 here. We're going to go radical 18 plus 2 radical 8. On this one here, we can simplify this to a radical 9 times radical 2 plus 2, and this simplifies to radical 4 times radical 2. Radical 9 simplifies to 3. We're left over with my radical 2. Radical 4 simplifies to 2, and 2 times 2 is 4. So 4 radical 2. So 3 plus 4 is 7 radical 2. Okay, for the last 2 examples, I'm going to have you guys do them. We'll pause the video so that way you can work on them, check back to make sure that we're getting it. Example number 6, we're going to have radical 40 minus radical 90. Go ahead and pause the video. Remember, simplify your radicals first, then combine your like radicals to add or subtract. Pause the video, and when most of the class is finished, go ahead and hit play, and we'll check to make sure that you are correct. Okay, so radical 40 will simplify to radical 4 times radical 10 minus radical 90 simplifies to radical 9 times radical 10. Radical 4 simplifies to 2. I can't simplify radical 10 anymore. Radical 9 simplifies to 3. Again, can't do anything with radical 10. I have my like radicals. I can subtract. 2 minus 3 is a negative 1 radical 10. You can either write it this way, and again, or if you don't want the negative 1, you can just write it as a negative radical 10. I will accept either one of those answers for that. Okay, go ahead and pause the video again if you need to talk about anything. Example 7, the last one before I get you guys started here. I want you to go 8 radical 10 minus 3 radical 5. Again, pause the video, work through this one. Go ahead and hit play when you think you're done. All right, hopefully we didn't keep the video paused too long because we realized that radical 10 cannot be simplified. Radical 5 cannot be simplified. So there's nothing that I can combine with this. So my answer is 8 radical 10 minus 3 radical 5. There is nothing I can combine there, so that is my final answer. Again, main thing that you need to remember when you are when you are adding or subtracting radicals, simplify all your radicals first, and then if you have any common like terms, then you can go ahead and add those like terms. If they aren't common, like our last example, excuse me, then you can't combine those. All of these other ones had something that we could combine. This last one didn't. Okay, now it's time for you to practice on your own with your homework worksheet. I will be posting this video to our YouTube channel, so if you want to go back in and view it, if you didn't quite understand something, make sure that we're going back so we understand it.